We decided to come and meet under this tree for the devotional because it represents Genesis. It's all things that started that were brand new, so many things good, but then something so bad. You don't dialogue with the devil. For those of you that feel temptation, you don't sit in the temptation and have a conversation with the devil. Do you know that there is a devil? In Ezekiel chapter 28 and Isaiah chapter 14, the Bible is very clear that there is one who walked amongst the fiery stones. It means he was the leader of worship. He walked in the holiness of God, was thrown out of heaven after he decided he wanted to be God, led a revolt of a third of heaven to go with him so that now they're demons. When God made Adam and Eve and put them in the garden, it's the devil who came to Eve and started a dialogue, and she started the conversation in return with him. What does he do? Well, are you sure that what God said is that you can't eat of that fruit and you'll not surely die? And what's Eve do? Well, maybe God said this, but she changes it a bit and she dialogues with Lucifer about what God actually said. When you start messing around with something other than the will and the Word of God, you've already gotten yourself in trouble. I find myself wanting to say to Adam and Eve, you should be streaking across the garden. In Genesis chapter 3, I wish I could take out a big eraser and change the whole thing, because Eve would have said, God said, I believe, that's it for me. Adam would have said, Eve, come on, we don't talk to a talking snake. But they didn't. And because of it, all of creation has borne the weightiness of the consequence of walking away from God. It's why we have death. It's why we have sin. It's why we have pain. It's why everything beautiful turns ugly. Everything new gets old. Friend, look, Jesus in the Lord's Prayer says, and deliver us from evil. Keep us from temptation, deliver us from evil. In the Bible, there is an evil one, and there is an evil one who tempts. And the way that you handle yourself is you don't dialogue with the devil. The way you handle yourself is you put on the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the loins of truth, the shield of faith. You take up the sword of the Spirit. You use the Bible, your feet going in the direction of peace that God has created for you. And you go and do what it is Creator God says. Eve, run from dialoguing with Lucifer. Do not entertain what he says. Don't think about what he says. Don't dialogue with what he says. And Adam, what are you doing letting your wife sit with Lucifer and have a dialogue with him? Don't you know it's going to end the two of you and it's going to send all of creation in the wrong path? My friend, God has a way of life. His way of life is His Word. When you obey His Word, you get life. When you dialogue with the devil, you get evil. May God give you the lesson you need from the book of Genesis chapter 3, because so much to life can be radically different.